My name is Ineke Hans. I'm a designer of products and I live and work from Arnhem, which is in the Netherlands. Well, the question is if an iPhone and a bus have to be hip. I think we have to look at what objects really have to do, and being hip is sometimes a very important or interesting thing, but in the end what counts is if the iPhone works and if the bus works. So if we can't rely on objects anymore, then there's something seriously wrong with sustainability. One of the things about sustainability is that you could say let's work with ecological materials, which is only part of the story. I think it's very important that people are used to a certain luxury, so that is something that people really are not going to give away anymore. So if we are working on sustainable products, pieces have to look nice as well. So, but I think if pieces are looking too fashionable, that can be a danger as well. Pieces have to be made very well, which is good for a sustainability point of view, and they have to look visually sustainable, which means, in my opinion, that they can live for a longer time. And that has to be combined with a kind of luxury that we're used to. It makes no sense to go back to the medieval times and say, hello, we're sustainable. I think places get a soul when people are really living there, when they are able to go around the corner and buy a bread, and they don't, or have an opportunity to have a coffee, or have let their dog go out. If you have to move first for a couple of kilometers before you can do that, and have to go to a shopping mall, then you end up with these totally derelict areas which feel not very human and not very comfortable at all. So I think it's very important that you almost create little villages and communities in cities. Well, when there's more to it than only living, if there's areas where people can meet and where there's maybe multifunctional places, or places where that you don't have the feeling I live here and that's it. That could be true. Yes, the cities who I saw a nice example a week ago about cities who forgot to build, who are split into by a river, and cities who really forgot to build a bridge in time. They have ended up almost like schizophrenic, because there is always this discrepancy between the north and the south, and as soon as if they have when they managed somehow to get connected on both sides, it improves immediately on the feeling well in the city. Maybe all these different memes make a city standing out from another city just by being totally different in different places, and I guess that all these items are also that they are created in a certain way also because of the environment or the place where they are. So that gives a different atmosphere already to the city just by the geographical nature of the place. Well, if these people have good stories, yes, and if they have a life, yes, it would help. If you would really have a city, maybe if you would have a city with no squares, no places to meet, and everyone is just in his little cell block. Yeah, that doesn't really help on people's happiness and how they feel. I think if you let human beings go ahead, they always find a kind of way to deal with things. So if you are not restricted by all kind of play or blah blah blah, then they will find another. People are creative, so they will find another way. think we should be building because we need a building. And of course, it's not that straightforward, you know. Of course, there should be pleasure involved, but greed seems to me a very strange reason to build. And generosity is also something. It's nice to be generous, but I don't know if it's a good reason to build. You need a place or you don't. Well, it's definitely not going to be a jungle because we've gone too far to get that kind of green back. Um, I think we are in an interesting time where we have an opportunity to think about ecological problems and to think about how to reorganize our world because we just had a kind of financial crisis, so it's a very it could be very interesting to bring both things together and create a very nice solution. So we start to go back to basics and think about how we are going to organize our lives.